All right, so welcome everybody to it's kind of hard for me to say, but the season finale of the Get Hooked podcast.
Yes.
It's finally here. It's been a while. It's been a fun ride. But we have a really good topic, a very interesting topic here for you guys today. If you joined us last week, if you didn't join us last week, we talked about black black men specifically in mental health. I shared some of my own personal experiences. Kamisha did the same. If you missed it, no worries. You can go back and check it out on YouTube, Spotify. You can check it out on the podcast homepage. Just search Get Hooked Podcast, and you'll gain access to it. Today's topic is going to be about parenting methods. So it's the old school parenting versus new school. Which is more effective? Is one more effective? Do you prefer one over the other? Do you parent the same way your parents did? So we're gonna. It can take a few different angles, but this is one we're gonna. This is something we're gonna discuss, and we're gonna find out how you guys feel about it also, right?
I want to chime in just a little bit about what you said about last week. If you did not watch it, absolutely go back and watch it. It was very beneficial. Guys are weighing in, saying how it has helped them. Women are doing the same. So he downplayed that a little bit, but I need y'all to know if you did not watch it, you missed it. But you can go watch it.
Yeah, and I've shared it like 50 million times since last week anyway, so make sure you guys go ahead and watch it. As always, this episode is going to be uploaded afterwards as well. And make sure you like, share, and comment. We do want to hear from you guys. We want to hear. We're both parents, so we definitely want to. We have our own takes on it, but we also want to hear from you guys as well. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this thing cracking.
Let's go.
All right, so we're both parents now, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, so you've been a parent how long? How old is Cam?
7 years.
7 years. And before you actually became a parent, did you have your own ideas about how you think parenting would go, or did you say, well, I'm going to be this type of mother, or and how does that work out for you?
Nah, honestly, I didn't have that mindset. Once I became pregnant, I did. Once I was pregnant is when I began to think about the type of mother that I would be,
okay,
and the things that I would do, and what I would not let happen, and what he would not eat, and what he would not drink, and what he.
But prior to, you had no preconceived notion. You didn't even think about it.
Not prior to for me. What about you?
For me, I did. I always said, well, because I grew up, my mom was pretty stern, fair but stern, and I always said, well, when I have a child, I'm not going to spank my child. I'm not going to punish. I'm going to be the quote-unquote good parent.
Oh.
It ain't quite work out like that. it didn't quite work out like that. How about with you? Like when you got pregnant, did you pretty much follow?
From that perspective, as a child or growing up, would I have said, okay, I'm going to do this different from my parents? And absolutely. The sternness that you're referring to, I wouldn't say that I would have taken on the, not being a coach, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But I did want to be big on communicating, and like I said, I had an idea of because of health issues within my family.
Right.
I don't want him to drink juice. I don't want him to do all this stuff. Like I did think about that.
Okay, I got you. But for the most part, you're pretty much following that guideline.
No,
not
really. What you talking about? Don't come with guidelines. Hey y'all, if y'all are watching, please chime in. Are there some ideas of things that you had in mind of how you would do for your children? Are you sticking to those things? What's working, what's not working? Definitely tune in so that we can interact with you all as well.
Now, growing up, was your mom strict or?
My mom was not strict.
Okay.
My dad
was strict.
My dad was extremely strict.
Okay.
What about in your household?
Well, and that's the thing. It was only my mom.
Oh. Okay.
So I only knew one way.
Got it.
And she was pretty strict, I would say. And we were good kids. She didn't let us get away with a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Now talking to her, she was she felt she had to be that way. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to kind of take on this dynamic to find out why people parent the way that they did.
Okay.
I think that in our community, the way I grew up, parenting was kind of passed down from generation to generation. My grandparents did it this way, their parents did it a certain way. and it trickled down to how my mom and some of my aunts and uncles were as well.
So mine wasn't strict, but she carried out anything that my dad did set out. So if there's anything that he set out, some things we could or could not do, could or could not wear, whatever the case may be, she did implement those things.
Okay.
So let me just ask you, kind of even just mentioning clothing. I remember being a child. I'm not going to get in trouble for it now. And if I wanted to wear a certain thing, I would put it in my book bag. And I would change it at school. And then when it was time to go home, I would change it again. And I would hope that no one saw me. As far as times now, I feel like they can walk in the house.
They walk in the house, whatever, right? And, you know, one of the things I had to come to realize was that the people who are raising these kids nowadays, they're our age.
Okay.
You know, like growing up back when we came up, there was a bit of an age difference, you know?
Right.
Like, my mom was 25 when she had me. You know, and 25 is a young age, but there's not like you know, we didn't. I think one of the major differences now is I think our newly experienced, we can connect with the kids a little more. And I say that because with our parents, we didn't do the same things that they did. Like when you talk about music.
Oh, man.
Music was completely different.
Absolutely.
Man, my mom listened to Roy C. and all these other oldies. And even to this day, she does. But like, me and Zoe like the same stuff. You know, we in the car, I'm singing a song, she's singing it, she's like, Dad, turn that up, we jamming to it together. And I think, you know, we have a lot more in common with our kids than our parents did.
But why though? And I can remember those Saturday mornings, you know what the music was gonna be like, oh God, Mom. But now, I mean, I can agree. And I was one that was gonna let Cameron listen to certain songs.
Okay.
I was stern on that until my baby went to his first birthday party. And my baby couldn't whip the nene, y'all. So I was embarrassed. So I had to hurry
So
up
maybe
and come
you'll
up
listen
with
to it a little bit.
So Candace said that she kept something in her book bag as a kid. Right. And Candace, that's the thing that we're talking about, like things that we had to hide. It's more common now that kids are doing those things.
And I think that's definitely something that females did. I mean, we just
we didn't
we ain't worried about that. I mean, we look forward to seeing the females when they got there. And I knew a lot of my classmates, female, who did that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I get it. But I think because they did that, nowadays they're like, well, you know what? I don't want my child to hide anything from me, so I'm gonna, you know, monitor what they wear, and I'm.
But is there a detriment to that though? Is there a detriment to how much even teenagers are looked at inappropriately based upon what they wear?
I think it's detriment. My thing is like, if people are gonna look at them, they're gonna look at them regardless of what they have on. Obviously, it's gonna draw a little bit more attention when you are wearing little to nothing, but if you're physically developed, it's going to show anyway. People are going
to. Now that in itself is absolutely correct. But I mean, as far as when you see someone and you see them by their clothes alone, the message that it sometimes gives off. I feel like parents protected that more when we were younger. Vicky says, my mother did not play no games. We cannot even participate in any after-school activities. Wow.
And Vicky, respond when you get a chance. But now, if you have kids, do you hold that same standard for your kids, or do you let them participate where they actually want to? I was going through like a bunch of the differences between how I came up and how we're raising the kids now. I think one of the major things that really stood out to me, I think that, and again, I'm only speaking from how I was raised, right?
Right.
I was raised in an authoritarian household, where it's either my way or the highway.
Right.
I had no opinion.
Right.
I had no voice.
Right.
It didn't matter how I felt.
Right.
You know, conversely, nowadays, I see a lot of new age parents. They're authoritative. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's not like a my way or highway type of thing. They pull rank when they need to, but it's more of a negotiation kind of, or they use more logic to actually, get through to their kid. It's like they'll give them options, or when my mom cooked, I had to eat whatever she cooked.
I had to.
There was no ifs, ands, or buts.
Or I was going to warm up a Roger Wood sausage. You probably one or the other.
But now we're like, okay, well, I'm having this. Do you want this?
No, I don't like that.
I don't like that, or I don't care. At least I can lie about it now. I don't care to have that. You know,
Can't sound like that.
and then we're like, okay, well, what do you want? You know, but and growing up, I didn't have that luxury.
No, I didn't have it either. That was not something that was implemented in my household. Candace says, I think as adults now, we remember what it was. Then we so more. Then we so were more open. So we're more open. My apologies, Candace. So we're more open because of the things that we went through, basically remembering.
Okay.
She said, and I'm sure these same convos were going on from our grandparents about our parents.
I didn't think about it that way.
That's
So you're probably right. So they were probably saying you're raising those kids wrong. There's always going to be some critique. So definitely I understand. I think another thing is we were raised more so fearing our parents. Like I was scared of my mom. I don't know about you. I was afraid of my mom, definitely. And I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but when something happened and I knew she would get wind of it, I would be afraid because I knew a butt whipping was coming behind that, you know. But I think nowadays, like, I know with me now, the difference between how my mom raised me and how I'm raising Zoe, I don't want her to fear me, per se, but I want there to be that level of respect that she knows that daddy means business. But I find myself now, it's like, sometimes we debate. Like, me and Zoe, we have, like, conversations, like, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, why am I even talking to a 9-year-old? What is there to debate about? So I think that's one major difference.
Now, I do believe in children having a voice. Do I still believe that there's a time and a place for everything? I do still believe that. But I do believe that it is important to be able to express yourself. Because if you don't learn to do it while you're a child, you won't be able to do it when you are an adult.
Right, and I think that's one of the things that hindered some of us. You know, now if you have a strong personality, it's going to come through. But for someone like me, I was more reserved, laid back. So when you don't really have a voice, when you see any form of authority, whether it's a teacher, boss, football coach, team leader, whatever, it's kind of like you're more inclined to kind of sit back and just go with whatever they say because you really didn't have that voice, and that's kind of how you learn to deal with authority.
And with that being said, I was at first mislabeling my child because I didn't have a voice, and he does. And so I would say, stop being so bossy.
Right.
But then I realized, like, wait a minute. He's a child. As long as I teach him to use that, that's leadership.
Right. That's his personality.
That's leadership.
Yeah, and I think we raise our kids sometimes we think of our kids like they're because we want them to be like us. We want them to have the same kind of personality, do things the same way. But I had to realize Zoe ain't me. I ain't Zoe. So, you know, when she deals with certain things, I'm like, well, Zoe, you need to do X, Y, Z. But then I have to think, I'm like, well, you know what? She's her own person. I can teach her and coach her, but ultimately I can't dictate how her personality is formed.
Just chiming in, Latasha says, as a single parent raising 2 daughters who are now in their 20s, it's totally different from raising my son who is 15. I find with him, I have to literally put the fear of God in him the old school way to make him act right, Tasha.
Get some act right.
Vicky says, I made sure I monitor what my daughter wore. Her body bypassed her age. That's one of those situations where she can, she had a body.
Absolutely.
Irisha says, the village is missing. My daughter has tried it. Not bringing clothes, but altering her clothes. I busted her in person once, but a different time. A teacher came to me because she noticed my daughter uncuff her shorts when I picked her up. And we need more of that. We can't be everywhere, so let me know when mine is out of line. That's good.
Yeah, and we'll read the rest of the comments, but I'll come back to that in a second.
That was good.
Candace says, the parents still have a look. I still straighten up with my mom. Yeah, and my mom mastered that. Like, she didn't have to say a word, but when she gave me a certain look, it was time for me to act right.
Candace, I have a look. Like, there's a time where Cameron knows he better not move nor say anything else. I still have a look.
And Vicky says, my daughter played sports starting at the age of 8 all year up until her senior year in high school. And that's phenomenal. And I think nowadays we, give them the option to do that. Like, my mom never asked me, do you want to play football? Do you want to play baseball? It's kind of like now we're getting our kids more active. And to go back to Irisha's point, she mentioned the part about the village. Growing up the way I did, there was not a single day that I didn't see my grandma. There's not a day that I didn't see my cousins or No, and really just kids around the neighborhood in general. My grandma was a candy lady.
Oh, candy lady.
Right, yeah. And we played baseball to sun up from sun up to sundown.
Yes!
And we saw everybody every day. But nowadays, like, I mean, we have neighbors, but it's like, how often do we really converse with them, or they play together, but not like we did.
Where are the grandmother candy ladies in 2019? These kids don't know what lick-ups are.
They are living their best life right now.
Come on with the hot girl summer and open the candy store.
Right, and because even nowadays, like my cousins, like our kids, my first cousins now, our kids refer to us as uncle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Uncle Pete, Uncle Andre. You know, and nowadays, like our kids they see each other, but not nearly as often as we saw each other. So they see each other, they recognize it, like, hey, there's my cousin. But like when we grew up, you didn't see one without the other.
Well, it wasn't my family; it was my neighbors.
Okay.
My neighbors knew that we were all together, and to this day, we're all adults now. Mm-hmm. But we grew up together as children, and we had to be in the house by the time the street light went on. Mm-hmm. Like you knew you was gonna bust your toe to get home when that street light was coming on.
Right.
I think one of the difference, though, you mentioned riding bikes. Is that necessarily just a result of parenting, or is it also now the society that we live in, the times?
Could be. Because, I mean, we played video games back then, but nowadays it's like electronics have taken over. You know, kids would rather, when I came up, to not go outside was a punishment. Mm-hmm. You know, if they said, well, you got to stay in the house, you can't go outside, we saw that as a punishment. Nowadays, you know, these kids, they don't see it as a punishment because they don't want to go outside anyway.
Understandable. See, and that's not the standard from our house. We go outside, we play, and we actually go with him as adults. We go with physically play sports and stuff like that. Right. But I do understand that as well, which leads me to think about how many teenagers I see in the summer with the earplugs in their ear and a hoodie. Like, where are you going? Hoodies and earplugs, y'all.
It's 117 degrees outside. And that's the thing I don't get. And you made a good point, though, because when I was growing up, we went outside, you know, if we, like, as friends, and like, the kids went outside, the parents pretty much stayed in. Mm-hmm. But now, it's like we have to take a more proactive approach, like, okay, hey, let's go outside. We kind of like not forcibly, but, you know, giving them an incentive to go outside, like, okay, I'm going to go with you. But I know with my daughter, like, she ain't going to go outside unless somebody out there with her.
And I think that also is going to depend on how much you introduce electronics in the beginning of that child's life.
I completely
the detachment issues that will come, that'll make a difference also.
I mean, society nowadays is so electronically entwined. Like, it's like we're on our phones all the time, so the kids simulate what they see. So obviously, if they see you on your phone, they're going to think that's kind of how things are, and it's kind of hard to break that habit once.
You better implement it. We are not on our phones all the time. We implement that time. We put the phones to the side. It's necessary, because if not, that's just what it'll be.
Absolutely. And getting into like some of the major differences, because personally I think it's funny, you know, the way things kind of come about, and I say that because, you know, because we mentioned going outside, like going outside was the thing they do when we were coming up, but nowadays that's really not what kids do. Okay. I think the discipline is also a little different, and I say that because, like, if we got in trouble, we knew we were going to get over them. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no talk. There's no negotiation. It's just a matter of when. You can do something today. If your mom says she's going to get you,
he's walking on eggshells.
It can be 2 weeks later. And she's going, this is for 2 weeks ago. But now, and I'll spank when I have to. I think I'm a little more balanced. Like, but to me, that's my last alternative. Like, I want to talk depending on the severity of what she does now. Now, she does something that's outlandish, there's no negotiation. But if it's something that isn't that bad but a little mischievous, you know, we'll talk about it, because again, I want her to have that voice. But at the end of the day, I do pull rank when necessary.
Now, I will say, when I talk to him when he's in trouble, I'm not talking to him for the sake of his opinion. I'm talking to him for the sake of understanding how your actions can affect you, and knowing that he has that understanding so that you don't keep doing the same thing. Right. Now, am I talking to a child? Yes. Have I had to repeat myself? Yes. Absolutely. But I noticed that his language eventually gets to change, or when he's at a birthday party and someone is doing something, those words will come out, and I'm like, you know what? He ain't acting like he is. He getting there. Well, let me ask you this, though, because you said that before you became a parent, you had the idea that you would never spank your daughter. Do you think that that's the major impact in you now not spanking her until like something is really bad?
No. Luckily, I was blessed with a good kid.
Oh, good.
And she's mischievous, but she's very mannerable. Always yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, and the whole time. So she's a good kid. So I can't complain about that. I think that also leads to me not beating her because I know that if she does something, it's like an anomaly. But there are certain things that she's done where it's like a no-brainer. You're gonna get a whooping. But when I say before I became a parent, I said I'm not gonna whoop my kid. And for you non-parents out there,
you don't know until you know.
I don't care what kind of parent you said you're gonna be. Go ahead and just take that, like a grain of salt, because it's not gonna happen. It's really gonna depend on, obviously your child, but also once you have a kid, things kind of change, and the kind of parent you thought you were gonna be, it ends up really not being that way.
And it's not just that. It's not that that's a bad thing. You're going to learn what your child needs. You're going to learn what works best for you, 2 or 3, depending on your household.
Right.
And it kind of kills the whole fact of the idea. You still try to implement those things, but at that point, you're doing what's best. Vicky says, yes, look, I agree. Now that my daughter is 20, I just assumed that she would have had my mindset. But I had to realize my mindset is of a 45-year-old, right. So I can't expect her to be on the same level as me. We have a tendency to want our young adults to do what we would as middle-aged and other adults. We forget that life experiences help mold us, older adults, and they are just beginning to experience as an adult. Now that's really good.
Right, and we thank you for the comment. And it's like I said, man, like we want so bad for it. And thinking back on it, my mom was the exact same way in that regard. Because when I would handle certain things, like anybody who knows my mom, she's very outspoken, doesn't bite her tongue, very aggressive. Me, I'm not like that. And when stuff would happen, she'd be like, you need to be more like me. I wish you had some of what I had, and that wasn't me though, you know what I mean? That's just a parent wanting their kids to exhibit traits they did. But it's just not going to be that way because the kids are going to have their own personalities and they're going to do things differently, so you have to be prepared for it.
Well, what do you do when you do see yourself in your child? So Cameron is 7, but I see so much of my personality in him, and sometimes for me, it makes me recognize my own flaws. Well, maybe you should have said this quick, or maybe you should have waited because he'll come up with. I see me. I see me. Right. And so with that being said, sometimes it kind of makes me check myself. It's not that he's trying to do anything wrong. If you fuss at him right now, you fussing at you.
There you go. And to your point, the hardest thing you have to do as a parent is discipline the you out of your child.
Listen.
You see Zoe does some of the exact same things I did. I found myself getting mad and upset, but I'm like, damn, that's me. And I understand, and I think that's one of the things as well. Zoe and I connect on that level, but I don't think that our parents kind of look at it that way because they look at it as, I'm the parent, you're the child,
and
that's it. Like again, we had no voice. There's really no there's no negotiation. Like growing up, you didn't even have a voice in that. It doesn't matter what it was. If your parents said it, your job was to go do it or get your butt whooped. So. Now, what do you think about some of my coworkers were talking today, and ironically enough, we talked about the exact same thing. Do you think that some of the new parents, like us and our peers, that we tend to overcompensate for the things we didn't have?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Okay.
I think a lot of times when you have a child, and I've seen this a lot of fathers personally, where they say, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. And I'm not saying that women don't do, because we do it as well. You do want to give them what you didn't have. Right. And you set out to give them a better life. You set out to not have them go through the same struggles. But what I have found is we may do those things, but it's still going to come back to, like Vicky said, her child still having to go through process. Yes, we're still going to try to give them a better life, but certain things and certain skills, they're still going to make those mistakes.
Right, and I think one of the things that also does, because we call it spoiled, I wouldn't necessarily say it's spoiled, but this is kind of what we built. like we made it okay for them to want certain things. Like when I was coming up, I think we went to McDonald's quarterly,
Okay.
like every 3 months,
Okay.
if that. So when we finally got it, we saw it as like a big deal. Like you can tell us we weren't eating at a 5-star restaurant,
Oh.
because that's just because we didn't have one growing up where we did.
Right,
So
right. It was a big deal.
it was a big deal. But nowadays, like when I take Zoe, it's like I want McDonald's, I want Zaxby's, I want Popeyes, I want and I try to I want her to understand that these things are that it's a luxury for her to have, and that how fortunate she is. But it's kind of hard for her to understand that because again, she's 9 years old. So if I didn't ingrain that in her, like, well, you need to be thankful for what you have. So to them, it's commonplace.
Now y'all don't judge me. I'm about to read this comment. It says, "Okay."
All right, y'all, sure.
Yes, it does. Shakira says, "I do too." But
Shakira
not
said
a, yes, Shakira did.
I'm so fire.
She says she's not a mom yet. However, she does have a look. Vicky says, "I did not spare the rod. Not often, but I did." Irisha says, "I'm a mix when it comes to discipline. Probably a 60-40. Split old school, new school. I have no problem with cutting rump. I teach, then talk, then tear her rear end up." That's an approach. I like that. That means it took 3 offenses before physical discipline. Now that she is older, she gets more first offense spankings because she's been taught the basics. I really have to spank her, but I don't hesitate if it's necessary. That's good.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that approach, Arisha, and that's what I was saying in regards to I do have communication with him. And I do agree. There's just certain things at this point, they know. I know you knew better than that.
But they're going to try you, though.
They try. Candace says, "Do you feel like the way we were parented has negatively shaped us as adults based on discipline, etc.?"
Yes and no. Because looking back on it, and I tell my mom this all the time, she didn't have to beat us as much as she did.
Okay.
Like, we would get beat for like the smallest things. Like if I left an electronic plugged up in the outlet, instead of just saying take it out, I'd get a beating for that. I was responsible. The last time my mom hit me, I was 14 years old. Went to a party at my cousin's girlfriend's house. Me trying to be responsible, I didn't have a car, so I called them like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a little late." She was like, "Well, just stay where you are." I didn't really know how to take it, so I finally get home. It's dark in the house, so I'm walking, and all of a sudden the fist comes out of nowhere and like hits me smack dab in the middle of my chest. She was like, "Bring your ass home next time." And again, and I didn't hold a grudge against her, but I'm like, you really don't have to do this because we're gonna mumble under our breath and say all kinds of stuff. And but like, I think personally sometimes they took this one a little bit too far.
So you do feel like it has impacted you a little bit negatively?
Small, like it's not hugely, but now that I'm a parent, I now understand that it didn't take. I don't think it took as much as they made it out to be.
Well, for me, I think it was more so I didn't know how to relationship. And I mean, like, even as a child, as far as like making friends and different little skills like that, because I didn't have a voice, because I did have that fear that you're talking about and things like that.
Like interacting with like other
kids, even kids. Because I was so stuck on not having a voice or where do I fit in, because I didn't get to find that at home. Right. So when I was out, I just was like, I mean, it was, for me, like elementary and stuff, it was tough.
Right.
I didn't know.
Right. And I think what I've learned over the years is they only did what they knew how to do.
That's true.
So it wasn't intentional, but again, it was how they were raised. And it's like when things are passed on from generation to generation, you want to get it right. You feeling like it worked for you. So this is how I'm going to do this is what I'm going to do for my kids.
And with that being said, I just wanted to acknowledge that what we're talking about may not seem like something that's good. However, we are where we are.
We are where we are.
And we are parents. So I am grateful.
They did something right, but I think more so because we're parents now, we can kind of speak from how they did things and now how we did things. And be fair, we're dealing with a different breed of kids now.
Completely different, absolutely. Arisha said, yes, that's why there are a lot of spoiled kids out here, mine included. Candace says, valid. Vicky says, I was guilty of that. I didn't try to make up for what I didn't have. Being a single mom, I tried to make up for her so-called father not being there.
Okay.
Both roles.
Okay. Okay.
You were compensating.
And who said that, Vicky?
Vicky.
And I like that, Vicky, because and it's weird because you kind of led me into my next point. I was going to talk about the role of fathers now versus then. Because and you mentioned, that you're basically wearing both hats. You don't have I guess, an active dad, so you're having to not only be the mom, but also if you have a son, you're trying to help raise a son. And that was my mom. Like we didn't grow up with our dad, so she did what she knew how, and that's one of the reasons she said she was so tough, is because she had to raise us three men, so she only knew one way to be stern and to be hard with us. So.
Vicky, I have a question for you. Based upon you compensating as far as playing both roles, did you find that effective? At some point, did you stop? At some point, did you see you could make that compensation, or did it work for you? Let me know your experience with that. Candace says, right. What's the incentive now? Especially because of technology now. Our kids are younger and younger with things that we didn't get until we were high teens, if not early 20s.
Right.
Yeah, Cameron got a phone at 6.
I got my first cell phone when I started paying for it.
Yeah.
And Zoe has a cell phone and she's 9. So that's one of those things, man. Like, so what effect do you think it has on, like, in terms of like fatherhood, right? And maybe I'm just biased, I don't know.
Okay.
But personally, I think that dads nowadays are a lot more active than dads of the past.
Somebody say that. Talk about that.
And I say that because, and from a historical aspect, at one point, the dads back in the day were not allowed to be in the delivery room with the mom. So they didn't get to see things firsthand. They didn't get to see the child coming out or be the first to embrace them or anything. Me, commercially, I was there through everything. I saw the childbirth. I saw what Zoe's mom went through. And I thought it was the most miraculous thing I ever saw.
Right.
I cut the umbilical cord. I was the first to hold her. And we formed that bond from day one. I was in love.
Right.
And, like from that day forward, I mean, doctor's visits, PTO meetings, everything, I'm there. But when you think about back in the day, whenever we had PTO meetings, I saw a bunch of moms in there. I seldom ever saw dads. And granted, they were probably working. I don't think dads back then took a hands-on approach as far as changing diapers, fixing lunches, dropping off at daycare. All that was considered what the mom did.
It was just a role. It was a role. You're gonna go to work and you're gonna do this, and it was just set in stone. And it's funny that you say this because I was at a birthday party this weekend, and the amount of men who were at the birthday party, the men that jumped involved, it was a laser tag birthday party, and the interaction with the children. I acknowledge that that's something that I can see, and I think people need to know more and hear more of that.
Right. And something that gives me joy because again, I wasn't raised with my dad in the household. Anybody who knows me knows that. But me and all of my cousins, all of my friends I know who are fathers, we're active. Like in one way, shape, or form or another. Like we do the birthday parties, even baby showers, we're there. So we're taking a more hands-on approach. So I think that nowadays, if I had to weigh, the good and the bad, the pros and cons, I think that dad's really starting to step up now.
Let me ask you a question. You can tell me from what you know, from a male perspective. Men and kissing their children, their sons and daughters.
I kiss Zoe all the time.
I didn't see that when I was younger.
Neither.
I didn't see that. That's a difference in something that I notice about fathers now. I notice that fathers kiss their children now.
We realize now how, granted, no one would ever be able to take the place of a mom. I think moms are severely underrated because they do a whole lot. But you can't underestimate the role of a father in the life of a child. For young boys, that's going to be the first man they know, and that's who they're going to emulate. Young girls, that's going to be the first man they fall in love with. So you have to have a standard. So with my daughter, one thing that I wanted to make sure I wanted to set a positive example. I opened doors for her. tell her she's beautiful, or give these compliments. I don't want the first time somebody tells her she's beautiful to be some knucklehead and she falls in love with her.
And see, that comes with being intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You're intentional about that, and I think that's the difference in when you are parenting intentional rather than just parenting. And I think kind of what we had was, this is the figure, this is what I do, and this is what you do.
Right.
As we talked about the roles.
Right.
I'm the mama.
Yep.
That's the daddy.
Right.
You the child.
And the fact is, you can be in the house with somebody and live with them your whole life, but that doesn't make them an active parent. Like, yeah, they pay the bills and they got a roof over their head, and you can't overstate that. That's great. But what about the other stuff? Like, are you taking time with me? Or do you know what I like? Do you know what I dislike? You have to. Being a parent is more than just paying the bills.
That's good.
It's way more than that.
That's good.
So granted, paying the bills is important, but it's also important to spend that time.
But I think that's going to be something that I think is different between fathers then and fathers now in relation to that. And if there are any single parents, we still talk about being intentional, but just not so focused on, everything's taken care of. I'm good. Now I'm on the couch. Hand me that remote. Go get me this.
Yep. Bills paid. Like you paid the bill. And again, that's great. But kids, they really need that time. And I guess it's so important to me. And because I didn't have that, like my mom worked crazy hours. So when she got home, she was tired. She had to cook and take care of kids. But my dad didn't play that role in my life. So I wanted to make sure that my daughter had, and again, that I don't think it's overcompensating in this aspect. I wanted to make sure that she knows that she holds a special place in my heart.
Right. Just kind of chiming in. Nikki says, you think that's bad? We could not get our play nor school clothes. We could not get our play, not school clothes, but play clothes dirty. You couldn't get your... No.
Because when we went to school and got home, the clothes we wore to school, we had to take them off. And then we had to do our homework, put on our play clothes, and then go outside.
She said my mother fussing was just like getting a weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
She said kids now aren't that different than us. This is Candace. Like you just said, we may mumble and grumble in our rooms out of earshot. I think kids now have more freedom to gripe in front of audibly to parents.
Not Zoe.
No, not in my house.
I called her one time. Mumbling something. I was like, "What you say?" Nothing. And she's like,
I'll never forget when I caught Cameron and the look that he had on his face. He was like, "Mom, I was trying to say, no, you wasn't."
Nah, bro, I caught you.
Candace is agreed about dads. One of the things that makes me so sad is to hear dads say things like they are babysitting. So it's important to see dads be active. Kudos.
Yeah, and I hear that a lot. And I don't think it's intentional when they say it, but like it bothers me when they say that. Though I'm like, you can't babysit your own kid. I'm like, that's you.
You can't babysit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your responsibility. But I can understand the slip of tongue, but I mean that's something that it grinds my gears too. So I completely get it.
Latasha says, up until the day my dad passed, I would always kiss him on the forehead when leaving and tell him I love him, and he would say the same to me. That's beautiful, Latasha.
And Latasha, I want my daughter to love me that much. I really do. And a lot of the things that I do for her now is like, because I've lived, I know what it takes for her to be successful. I know a lot of the things she needs to stay away from. I want her to not have to do the things I did. I just want my daughter to love me as much as you love your dad.
And Latasha, my experience is different. And this may be crazy for most, but I didn't get a lot of I love you in my household. I didn't get it. And I'll be completely honest. I was in my 20s when I told my mother I love her for the first time.
Yeah. And it's still weird. Like even when I see it now, I'm like, it's like, okay. I'll say it, but it's just not. But when I see it, it's like natural. I'm like, I love you, Zoe. She's like, I love you 3,000.
And it is kind of natural for us. And I'm glad to even say it to see it. Because Cameron will just randomly wake up, love you, mommy, and go back to sleep. But it is natural, but I did not have that. And Latasha, that's, like I said, that's very commendable.
Yeah. And if y'all know Zoe, she'll tell you, I love you 50 million times per day. And I just can't get enough of it.
That's wonderful. You want to read Vicky's next comment?
Although my dad never really said much growing, although my mom never really said much growing with her not being there, it was more feeling guilty for some reason. No matter what I gave her or did for her secretly, I always felt it was never enough. Although my daughter didn't lack or want for anything, there were many times I cried myself to sleep because I felt I wasn't doing enough. So in all honesty, I did not help.
Ooh.
And she says my daughter is 20 and I don't hear that mumbling or anything.
Vicky, that feeling of not being good enough, I can relate to that. And I'm so intentional now because sometimes I'll notice Cameron like watching me to see if it's enough. And I know he didn't get that from me because I'm always cheering him on. I'm like, baby, you're more than enough.
Right,
and he's such a sore loser. And I'm like, baby, you have to be able to lose and win.
There you go.
You have to be able to do both.
Gotta have that character.
And I said, well, if you can beat everybody, then where's the fun?
There's no fun.
You know?
There's nothing. Like, you gotta, like, I guess because in life they're gonna have setbacks. And you can't, falsely lead them to believe that everything's gonna work out in your favor. You're gonna get everything you want, and no one's never gonna tell you no. So I think it's our job to properly prepare them for that. I think that's one thing that our parents did prepare us for, because I hardly ever heard yes. So.
But I think the hard part with that for me though is I don't want to give him. I know this. I don't want to give him my struggles, and I don't want to give him my limiting beliefs because it's not that he's going to have the same experience. I do try and be as honest as possible. Like I said, you got to know how to win and lose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't cross those bridges until we get there.
Right.
I don't present him with certain conversations until it's time. So I don't know what I'll say when certain things come. But right now, like, sorry y'all, but I can't stand to hear a child talk like they're broke. Who's talking like they're broke in front of this child? I don't even have a child.
Right.
You get everything, or I hate to hear children speak broke.
I call Zoe my broke best friend, because she, you don't even know what broke is like, because you get pretty much like whatever you need. I'm gonna do my best to get for you, but you're not at the age now where you can properly, articulate that and really speak about that. You know what I'm saying? And I guess like so, with all this, right? What effects do you think parenting has on self-esteem?
Everything.
All right. So you think that the whatever form of parenting you give is either gonna make or break a child?
Yes, absolutely. Because it's two ways. For me, if you are now chasing the feeling of doing enough for mama, you'll be a grown man still chasing the idea of doing enough for mama, and a whole other woman that came into your life that probably appreciates you, but you still chasing the idea
Pleasing
of
your
mama.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely, I think it plays a major role.
Right. And because me and my cousins and friends, we talk about that a lot. Like, who comes first, your wife or your mother?
Mm-hmm.
And probably 87.3% of the men that I talk to, they say their mom.
They married and they say that?
I plead the fifth.
Let me be clear on my feelings and my thoughts of that. Your mother is always going to be your mother. She's always going to have that role, and no one will ever take a mother's place. Mm-hmm. And I feel the same way about fathers. Fathers are always going to be fathers, and no one takes that person's place. But there is a lane. If you are a married man, as far as who becomes first, that's your rib, bro. That's you. That's you now. Y'all won. So I don't see that, but kind of just pulling that one here. Candy says, I wonder if our parents recognize that in themselves. I know my mom says stuff about it now, as far as being enough. One of the pressures that I had, Candace, and was being smart and making all A's, and although that was a good thing, there was no pressure nor time for me to just be a child. I'm gonna write a paper for that.
Right. When we're talking about like school and education, like with my mom, her idea of getting me ready for school or the next day, go do your homework. Mm-hmm. Like I had to do it on my own. Mm-hmm. But now when I'm helping Zoe, I'm like, Zoe, go do your homework. She'll bring it to me. I'll check it. Mm-hmm. If she gets some stuff wrong, we'll go through it together. So, we're working with, and I think that's one of the differences because I'm not saying my mom wasn't capable, but she really didn't have the time to put into helping me with the homework. She thought that was the teacher's job. But with me now, I'm like, you get your job done, at school, but it's also part of my job to make sure you get it while you're home as well.
And that was my thing. And saying having time to be a child, school felt more like punishment to me. It just literally did. And I may have told Hook this, or if you're watching Friends with Myself, one of the things that I did for Cameron, when Cameron was in trouble, I took his books. And he got the idea of, it was a privilege. It was fun. Now he likes to read. But when I got in trouble, now don't get me wrong, if I need him to write something or something, I still implement that. But homework was a punishment. It was more of a punishment. Go read that, go do that. It was punishment to me.
And I think it's all in how we, I guess, imbue that perspective to our kids.
Right.
Like I mentioned before, to me, a punishment was not being able to go outside. So I did what I could to go outside. Nowadays, I can't say, well, you can't go outside, because you're like, all right, cool.
Cameron go out the door and build an ant farm or whatever farm. They'll eat him up because they can't go out.
So it'd be like, cool, I don't want to go outside no way.
He was making me do that. Irisha says, absolutely, Kamisha. Adults need to be careful the conversation they have with and in front of their children. Candace says, do you think that feeling is stronger for men based on having a single mom? Which feeling, Candace? Irisha says, if you have the right wife, she's going to help you with your mom, so there wouldn't be a choice. and that's in several directions. In several directions, I could not agree with you more, especially the clingy mother who can't see the possibility of, wait a minute, no, Mama, you still got your place. We love you.
Right.
All of us love you.
We all love you.
We love you.
Right. It's almost like the Oedipus complex, man. It's like, because one of the things I hate to see on social media is when women say, I want a man to love me as much as my son loves me. Well, they're not going to love you the same. Like, and you can't compare the two, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's a huge difference there.
And if he comes in the door loving you like your child does, it's going to be inadequate anyway. Your son gives you all the feels because this is your child. That's a different type of love.
Absolutely. And another one of the major differences though, because we were talking about going in and out, going outside or whatnot. Like when we went outside, we had to stay out. Like there was no Zoe run in and out this house all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, and if I was my mom, I'd be like, look, stay your ass in. I'm letting him run for you. I'm like, go ahead and do what you want to do.
Probably about the third time that he opens the door, I tell him, you're going to have to make a choice. Well, Mama, I just need to get this so I can do this on that. And do that. Cameron, you better get everything you need. Because by this time...
No, they be like, it's hot outside. I'm like, it was hot before you went out there. It's like, it ain't no surprise. It's like 5,000 degrees out there.
So Candace says, I saw a post. You want to get some kids to move, take the Chargers. Watch them go to work. Candace says the feeling of overcompensating from a mom. Okay, yes. We did get into that a little bit. And Vicky says, I agree. The right wife will help him. That's true.
So and I'm not 100% sure in your entire family dynamic, right? Okay. But did you ever, like, you and your cousins and your siblings ever spend the night at your grandma's house? Like, was it ever, like, a sleepover at your grandma's?
My sleepovers were with my friends.
Okay.
My group of girls that I was around growing up, we would do sleepovers. Okay. Now, as far as my family is concerned, my sister always had people at her home, or even to this day, my family gets together every Sunday at my aunt's house. So it just kind of depends on which way we're going. But yeah, we did sleepovers with friends.
I got you. Now, what about your like? Hopefully, I'm not getting too personal. With your mom, have there ever been nights when Cam stays with your mom, or does that not happen very often?
At first, I used to get fussed at first. Because Cam would visit when I would visit. And that's how I was. Okay. Eventually was kind of like, Kamisha, he can come over here. We can take care of him too. And honestly, I needed that. And I know that maybe people may use that in different ways. For me, I'm like, well, you know what? When God made me and my baby, He made me equipped. But those around us, how can we have a village if I won't allow my village to play a part?
Right.
So it took me a while, but now, absolutely. Grandma, you want to go to grandma's house? Grandma want to? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, now.
And I guess it's a little different for me because I'm no longer living
It's a trip.
in my hometown.
Right, it's a trip.
So Zoe can't just go up and go stay with my mom. But with us growing up, like it's like, again, there wasn't a day when I didn't see my grandma. If we were sick home from school, because my grandma didn't work.
Okay.
Unless you count the candy store. Right. But if we had to stay home from school, we'd go down to my grandma's house. And during the summer, when our parents were at work, we went down to my grandma's house. So again, that's what helped make us as close as we actually are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have a lot of that nowadays for various reasons. Obviously, I moved away, so I don't have that. But I think nowadays, like, I don't think that, because I know a lot of younger grandmas who are really close to my age, so it's not one of these things where, yeah, go ahead, come drop the baby up. Because grandma living her best life, she can't want to hear none of that.
And that's something that's different. Mm-hmm. So now my parents are of a certain age that Cameron finds value in going over there, helping them with certain things.
Absolutely, right.
So there's a value that he gets from saying, I'm helping my grandparents. Mm-hmm. I'm like, baby,
right.
You know, I'm used to him being under me, you know what I'm saying? So I am adjusting, but in the same manner, I can say that grandparents now are not like my parents or my grandparents. There's a difference.
Right, which is not a good or bad thing, but we're simply comparing, the differences, and really, we sometimes gotta adjust on the fly with what you're working with, and because I know even with my mom now, she helps a lot with my sister's twins because she's there in Allendale, mm-hmm. And I know that if I was living in Allendale, it'd be the same with Zoe, but I just don't have that out here, which is fine, but I understand that.
Yeah, grandmas are definitely not in the house the way they used to. I need a grandma with a candy store, y'all. I ain't seen one in a long time.
Summers and weekends were lit. Literally. I'm telling you. And you check us out on Facebook, you'll see not only my cousins commenting, you'll see some of my other friends. And when I say we grew up together, we literally grew up together because we saw each other every day. Mm-hmm. Every single day. Like, even when I see their parents now, it's all, it's all love. It was like one huge village. And if I were to point out one major difference between then and now, I would say that the village is definitely not what it used to be.
Well, can we also attribute a little bit of that to how we are so now known friends, and we have these different perspectives that keep us confounded to our homes, and we don't realize when you're no new friending and building all these blocks and walls, you're keeping yourself in.
Right.
So are you blocking the village?
Yeah. And I think part of it also is, like, I know with me, I don't know how other parents are. You know what I mean? Like, because I know when the neighbor, when the neighbor's little girl comes over, it's cool. You know what I mean? Because, like, I let them do whatever they want to do. I treat her just like she's one of mine. And when
there's
time,
a level of trust where they can do that.
When it's time for her to go home, I make sure that either we walk her home or I'm looking out the window and I'm, like, making sure she gets there. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing there. So, I think I'm starting to develop that, but I think it's more so not knowing how other people feel about it.
We're going to wind up. I'm going to read Candace's comment before we go. It says, I grew up military, so if we made it to grandparents' house, it was a whole trip. Now, my cousins all grew up within a few blocks of my grandparents. I know that had to be harder on my parents, too. But because we were military, there was a different type of support or tribe. And I think that's more so my friends' parents were the ones my mother trusted me to go. I went to the Bahamas, a friend. When I was younger, like now, I'm like, wait, no. But those people were always around, right. And so I can understand that our tribe is
more of a trust factor there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know with me, man, like, and everybody has different parenting styles, but I think that regardless of what your parenting style is, I'm not going to judge you for it. I think you have to do what you think is best for your child. I don't think that you should judge anybody or condemn them for how they choose to do it. Fact is, if we don't raise our kids, the system's going to raise them for us. So whatever works for you. But I think it's always good to have a strong support system, definitely. So yeah, that's where I am.
I would say do what works for you, but also be intentional about paying attention to the effects and the impact that it has. Be willing to understand that even us as parents, we're not always right. And I mean that from the standpoint of something we may be pushing on our children or behaviors or just different things. Just be mindful and be intentional.
Be intentional.
Be very intentional about how you parent your children, and we can get past the things that we went through. Yeah. We can be completely opposite, or we can take the things that were good and implement those things. It's just a matter of knowing what works best for you, your household, and your child.
Absolutely, and I love that. Be intentional. So have an end game in mind. So definitely. So guys, this was another great episode, and it's been 10 episodes already. Well, 10 for me, but
so I'm helpful. If you have not heard anything we said this entire podcast, listen in. Okay? Go back and listen to it. But listen, this is the season finale. But when I tell y'all, we coming back with a bang. Bang, bang. Be prepared. Content, everything, y'all. It's about to be bananas.
Definitely. We're going to take a little bit of time off. We're still going to be working behind the scenes, getting things in order for you. So again, the episodes you missed, go back and watch them.
Absolutely.
The page is still going to be live, so we'll still be interacting with you guys. So if you have any topics you want to talk about, any questions for us, hit us in the inbox or just put it on the page, and we'll certainly respond accordingly. But when Kamisha says, and we joke a lot, she says I'm not as I don't get as excited as she does. I told her I'm just as excited. I just do it differently.
Completely different.
Way differently. Like she'll call me late at night. Like, boom, boom.
Y'all, it's happening, but know that it's happening for you. This is the People's Podcast. We promise you that. We promise you. So even any content y'all want to hear us discuss, whatever the case may be, if there's anything you want to present, let us know. But I promise you, we are coming back with fire.
Absolutely. We're coming back with a vengeance. And when relaunch happens, like I'm so excited. Like, again, I know. I mean, I seem like it.
Oh, you're excited.
This is what.
Look at there.
I'm so geeked, and I'm thankful for Keisha and everything she's done.
Thank you.
And we are coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
So again, be on the lookout. Again, don't forget to catch up on the previous episodes, and we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you.
We appreciate y'all.
Let's get it.